Of course, rehab stops working after a year if it's so low level that you haven't actually changed their physiology. Of course it stops working. I think it's very important is that spectrum of rehab and training, and movement being ultimately the thing that we're trying to do. Think of principles of physiology, of trying to change physiology. That's exactly what the hallmark of strength and conditioning is. And if we're talking about changing physiology, we're trying to do it the most with somebody who's injured. So how could we ever not impart the same exact principles? It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's impossible to separate the two. So the more that we can really hone in on the physiology lens with what we do, the better decisions we're going to make. I talk about this a lot, but if I'm seeing somebody for an hour, I want it to be the most valuable hour they could ever get. And if I'm not applying principles of physiology to what I'm doing, I am not achieving that goal. And I've just wasted this person's time and money. So I think it's that important to just really anchor every decision that we make clinically to, am I changing this person's physiology? If the answer is no, it's not appropriate for rehab, it's not appropriate for training. If we're doing stuff that's too easy with a training client, we would change it immediately. So why don't we do it in rehab? We just keep people in this safe space, and then we never actually elevate them to getting back to what they want to do. Get people beyond where they came in. Get them farther along that spectrum of training and rehab than they ever even thought they could be. So we're leaving so much on the table. And I think back to neuro rehab for this. We remember learning in school, after a year, you don't make any gains. Well, yeah, if your rehab is laying on a table, of course you don't. You're messing with people's lives here when you put those thoughts into people's heads, and it makes me so angry. So it's this bigger argument of, does rehab stop working at these times, or did PT not work for you, or were you actually just never pushed to the point where your physiology made a change? I think what matters the most is the conversations around like what is important for health and for the things that they want to be able to do. And I'm a big believer of minimum effective dose. If I can find the minimum effective dose to get you to what you need for your health, cool. Like, that's fine. Trusting your body and feeling capable to do something is the coolest feeling that I've ever had. And I'm so proud to have that feeling, especially as a woman. I love that I can move from an apartment if I need to. I love that feeling. And whatever that feeling is for you, whatever that level looks like for you, I encourage every human to find it. It doesn't have to be a 1RM on their back squat. It could be, wow, I can walk up my stairs and not feel I need to sit down after. That I encourage every person, even if you don't have this type of relationship with the gym just yet, to think of what is the level of just feeling the best human you can that really resonates with you, and chase that feeling.